Hello and welcome to another episode of Moonee Valley Voices, the new local podcast where we're talking to local characters from the Moonee Valley who are doing amazing things. And today I'm very excited to have a special guest, a guy I met over 10 years ago. He was a junior in my Essendon Royals under-13 soccer team when we first met, and he's gone on to amass almost 6 million followers on social media. I'm talking, of course, about Lucas Ivkovic. Welcome to the show, Lucas.
Thank you so much, Matt. Thank you for having me.
Great to see you. And,
it's been a long time.
And to reconnect, mate.
I know. I thought you were going to make me run laps.
Well, to be fair, I tried to make all the sessions as much with the ball as possible, but every now and then, you know, you boys needed a lesson.
Exactly.
You need to do some laps and refocus.
Especially me. But no, it's really good to see you.
No, they were great times. I remember, you know, you were... If I was thinking, you know, when we were talking about getting you on, I sort of remember you were sort of a shy kid at the start when I first took over the team. And by the end of the year, you know, you sort of really found yourself and were expressing yourself on the park, off the park. And it was sort of my trusty winger by the end of the year. So
thank you.
It was a great season. And it's been amazing to see, you know, what you've gone on and done with your, you know, social media career and the way that you sort of present yourself. So congrats on all that. But let's start with the basics. This is obviously a local show. We like to sort of talk about, you know, people's memories of growing up in Moonee Valley. And I know you've sort of, I think you've pretty much grown up here the whole time.
Yeah.
So, you know, talk to me about, you know, what Moonee Valley has been like for you as a community and where you went to school, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, sure. So I was born in Glenroy first.
Yeah.
And then when I was maybe 5 years old, I moved into the Moonee Valley Council. And I grew up in Essendon all my life, basically. And not only that, played outdoor soccer with you as a coach, played at Royals, grew up playing for Strathmore as well.
Yeah.
I also did outside of school musicals as well. So I was a part of this outside amateur theatre company in Avondale Heights.
Yeah.
So I was doing that once a year and, Clock Tower as well, performing there. So, I've done a lot in the Moonee Valley Council and, I really loved it. And I don't see myself leaving, to be honest.
Yeah. You were a Bernard's boy, is that right?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I went to St. Bernard's for high school and I also went to St. Teresa's in Essendon. So,
okay.
Yeah.
No, kept it all pretty local.
Yeah, very local.
No, very good. And so obviously we connected through sport and soccer in particular. Mm-hmm. Was that a big part of your childhood growing up? I mean, I only coached the one season. I had to move after that, which was a bit of a shame. But
that's all right. That's all right.
I hope you haven't held it against me too much.
No, that was honestly probably the best year as well. In my soccer career, that was so.
We had a good group. It was
it was.
Good bunch of boys. So so talk to me a bit about your involvement in the sport, local sport. How was that? You know, growing up.
It was amazing. Like since I was born, really, my dad just put a football in front of me and I just started using it. And I when I was 4 or 5, or I don't know, whatever age you are able to start playing, I played moved to Essendon Royals. Yeah. And it was just a lot of fun. I actually started Auskick first.
Okay. Yeah.
But it wasn't really for me. I could just tell I was also shy. I didn't really want to go up, and a lot of the kids are a lot taller than me as well. So when I started soccer, I'm like, this suits me more. So the only thing is that my school, primary school, weren't really soccer kids or football kids. So they were all playing Aussie rules. So I didn't really have much friends from school that were playing soccer, only myself really. But when I was outside of school, I was meeting all these like kids and stuff like Jordan and stuff. From there I loved it, played every year, and then later on I played squash.
Oh, right.
So that was a lot of fun. So every now and then I'll play at the Essendon squash, which is really cool. So every now and then I did try out some other sports as well. I did tennis at my school at St. Teresa's, and I also did some other school sports and stuff. But soccer was something that I grew up playing with, and I only stopped when COVID happened actually. So,
okay. I've always found sport, you know, whatever sport it is always sort of a good way to connect with people outside of that local, you know, the kids that you go to school with and all that sort of stuff. So obviously sounds like you made some pretty key friends along the way that, you know, if you weren't playing sport, perhaps you didn't make. Do you think that's sort of something that it was important in sort of helping you maybe find yourself in a way outside of just the school life?
Absolutely, because I wasn't really close with my primary school friends, and I was actually more closer with my soccer friends.
Yeah.
Because I had something more in common, and I loved watching soccer like the A-League and the Premier League, and I had something to talk about when I was with my friends and stuff that I was playing soccer with.
Yeah.
But then when I moved on to high school, all my friends that I was playing soccer with were going to St. Bernard. So I was getting excited for that, because I was like, now I can be with my friends as
all
well.
the time.
So that was really cool. But I'm still friends with them till this day. As Jordan.
Yeah, we were just talking.
Yeah, we're talking about. So I still talk with him almost every single day, and it's just awesome. And also seeing him around the area and just saying, "Oh, what's up? How are you?" So
perfect,
it's really cool.
And with the post school sort of stuff, you mentioned you did some theatre as well.
Yes.
So what sort of role did that? Obviously now you've moved into this social media space. Was that theatre sort of something that was super important in finding that?
Definitely. Well, as you said, I was a shy kid, and I wouldn't really be open to speak and stuff. And definitely in primary school, I was really quiet because majority of them played Aussie rules, and I wasn't really a part of their clique. So I was shy, but because of musical theatre, I grew my confidence, and I also did acting classes and stuff, and I learnt how to speak a little bit better publicly and to people, and also, I just managed to get a bit more confident. So when I managed to hit high school and during my teenage years, I was able to speak better with people. I wasn't as shy anymore, and it opened myself up to become who I am now. So
nice.
It was very important.
With the so talk us through how this whole social media thing started for you, because I'm assuming it's been a complete whirlwind. How long have you been at it?
So it all started during COVID, actually. So when we were all at home, the only thing we had was social media, really, to go on and entertain ourselves and contact our friends and stuff. So during that time, it was in 2020, TikTok was sort of new. Everyone was downloading the app and getting onto it, and all my friends were posting videos. I was actually one of the last people to download TikTok. But anyway, what happened was I was like, you know what, I might make myself some videos. So that's what I did, and after maybe 15 videos or so, I had one video that did crazy, and it was me in the pool. I was just doing some relatable content of playing Marco Polo, and anyway, it got a good engagement. All these comments were like, do more. So I was like, all right, I'll do more, and then eventually I stuck with it. I was posting once a day, and then my friends were catching on, going, "Oh my God, you're growing and stuff." And months went by, and then a few years went by, and I've just reached some milestones, and now it's slowly just taken over my life, become a full-time job now, and I've been doing it for 5 years now, so posting every single day, and I've just made brands working with me now, and moving on, not only just TikTok now, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Snapchat, all these other platforms as well, posting my same thing, and it's now a full-time job now, so it's crazy.
2020, I'm guessing this is roughly 2020?
Yeah. So when COVID happened and we're all at home,
and what was I know you're probably just thinking we're mucking around, make something fun, something that the boys can laugh at or whatever. But because it's a specific filter that you use on those, right?
It was a
I feel old.
No. It was a filter. No. It was a filter. So, it was interesting because I didn't expect myself to make videos, especially have a filter on every single day. It just worked for me on my one of the videos that I just did for fun. It was just supposed to be a one-off thing. And the filter just stuck with me, and they're like, we like this character that you're doing. Another thing is theatre actually helped me, especially doing my acting and my face expressions and making it's more for kids and teenagers, but they loved it, and it was just really cool. And especially when COVID started making it a little bit easier where we could walk around our area and stuff, so I was walking around Woodlands Park, Queen's Park, and I was getting recognised. I was like, how would you recognise me if I've got like this massive big head filter? But people are like, are you Lucas? And I'm just walking around the fountain of Queen's Park and getting photos, and I'm feeling like a celebrity. And it's just weird because when you leave the house, you just don't think of it. No. Especially, and after all that, it's just really weird how that happens. So it just felt like I was well, TikTok famous. That's what they call it.
They call it,
but I don't like saying that. But it's just funny.
Now you're just famous.
No, it's just famous.
So talk us through so there's obviously the Lucas character, which is obviously like maybe an exaggerated version of yourself.
Yes.
And it's Kevin, right?
Kevin, yes.
Right. So what's the inspiration behind Kevin?
So I was just making more characters to come in, and I don't know where Kevin came from, but it was just, I think Kevin was just supposed to be a one-off video as well. So anyway, I just made someone to where Lucas is a cheeky character. So I was trying to find a character where Lucas can pick on someone, but also have a little joke with and become best friends. And eventually from one video, it turned into another video with Kevin and Lucas. And then slowly it turned into a little storyline where they've like grown up together at school, and then crushes came in with high school crushes. So so Dolores came in, and that's Kevin's crush, and you had the teacher involved. So then later on, like there was different characters, and they all have different like storylines and different personas and stuff. So kids followed on, and my followers did, and it's just crazy how it all started from one character to multiple now. So
because I remember, like, I roughly remember the first time, when I was probably scrolling TikTok or Instagram, and I come across it, and I'm like, is that Lucas? Is that Lucas? And I'm like, what the hell is he doing? And then I'm like, oh wow, he's actually picked up a bit of a following there, right? So at what point in the journey, because it sounds like it really is like one video gives you, I guess, that opportunity, and then you've got to build on it. But at what point did you sort of think, well, this is getting a lot of traction. Obviously, we'll keep making this sort of content because there's an audience for it. But when did it start the needle moving before something that we're just doing for a bit of fun and, to see how big this can get to, well, it's pretty big now. We can probably turn this into a bit of a business.
Yeah, so what happened was when my first viral video in 24 hours, I think it hit maybe 20,000 views. And I was like, wow, this is the most I've ever had in my whole thing. And what happened was eventually, as I was doing them every day, they were getting consistent views. They were staying over 10,000 views. And then eventually they would hit over 100,000. They were growing. And I'm like, wow, like, how long can I ride this for? I'm not sure. So COVID did help because everyone at home and stuff, everyone's on their phone. So that was really good. But it wasn't until when I was walking around and people were noticing me, I'm like, wow, like this is pretty like serious and stuff. And my first brands that emailed me actually. So randomly, I put my email in my bio because I was seeing other people do it. So I was like, all right, I'll just do it and see what happens. Anyway, after that, maybe a few days later, I got my first brand deal, and a brand reached down. They're like, hey, we love your videos. We'd like to pay you and you just promote our product. And I was like, all right, well, why not? I mean, we're not really working at the moment. Well, so I'm like, sure. And I filmed a video for them and I got paid. And then eventually from there, you had brands like Nintendo, like crazy companies reaching out to me, and they were paying me a lot of money, more than how much I was earning like a month on a part-time job. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. So I was like to my mum, my dad was a bit like, oh, I don't know about this.
I was going to ask, like,
because my dad wasn't really a supportive person at the start. My mum was with me the whole way. She knew that I wanted to do something in the acting industry. But never social media, but it was something similar, like where I could act and stuff. But when that brand deal came and I was telling my mum, like, look, I'm getting paid this much from these brands and stuff. I'm not too sure how consistent it is, but it's growing and I'm reaching milestones with over 1 million followers at the time. So a lot more was happening. So what I did a bold move and deferred from my uni. And
what were you studying?
I was studying film and television.
Okay.
So what actually was cool about that is that my film and television uni course, I was learning how to edit at the time.
Right.
And what was cool was that I was taking those skills into my filming for my TikToks, and I was able to edit it a little bit better than what most people could do.
Yeah.
And it was just a big helpful thing.
And you were shooting all this on just a phone?
Just on my phone, yeah. And then eventually...
So like the pool one, was someone holding the camera or you rigged up a tripod?
No, I just went to, at the time I had a tripod, but it was a $5 one at Kmart or something. It was just a very cheap one. And I would just put it on like a little, just on the surface floor.
Yeah.
And try get my face to get a filter on. I would just go from there. So... Yeah, I didn't really have a lot of equipment. But
so using the front camera, the selfie camera, basically, to see if the filter was on?
The front camera, and that I still do. So, everything that I was filming was just on the app. I don't need any like crazy cameras and stuff. But, I did that. But what happened was with the editing, I moved that to my laptop, so my computer.
Sure.
So, I went from editing on my phone to my computer and elevated my editing. And, just... My mum was like, all right, well, if this is doing well, let's keep going and stuff. So, then more doors opened and, it's now, I managed to leave. I was working at Smiggle on Puckle Street.
Oh, right.
So,
Not too far from where we are.
Not too far. So, and I told Smiggle, I was like, look, I mean, they knew what was happening because... I'm working at Smiggle. It's a kids store. I'm having kids coming in recognizing me, and there was a shift where I had to go to the back because they wouldn't leave me alone. So it was getting crazy. Yeah. And I told them it. They understood that when I had to leave, the reason why. Yeah. But I was basically saying like, look, it's doing really well, and I would like to continue it full time. So
surely Smiggle would have got you on board, man.
I was hoping that, and they didn't. They were actually doing stuff as well, and they just never really got me to come around. And I even pitched them. I'm like, why don't look what's happening? These kids are coming up to me. But no, they did it, but they're lost, I guess.
Crazy, man. No, it's such a natural sort of. Brand partnership for me, just looking at it from the outside.
Exactly, exactly. But
I guess the influencer marketing thing, it's something that even though it's so well established now, there's still probably a lot of brands that shy away from it. They see it as something maybe not the traditional marketing that they would usually try and do. Mm-hmm. What have you noticed about the brands that are more open to it versus the ones that aren't? I guess hard for you to talk about ones that aren't because they don't deal with you. But, like from that first email from the first brand deal you ever got to the ones you're sort of working with now, how has, I guess, the relationship changed? Like, are there more expectations on influencers now in terms of the deliverable? Mm-hmm. Do you get given like a strict set of, it has to be on brand or they trust you? Because that's another thing I see. Like people want to do influencer marketing, they go and contact an influencer and then they give them all these strict, really rigid like branding guidelines. Like, well, but people are watching their content because it's their content, it's this style. Yep. Maybe it would be better if you just let them do what they think is the best with your product. But it's a tough one for brands. I can sort of see, how have you sort of seen that relationship evolve?
Yeah, so one of my first like big deals was Lego. And I was shooting my Lego stuff and I had to send it to them to get it approved. Yeah. And when I got my feedback back, it said, can you please film where there's nothing in the background? And in the video, I had my dad's alcoholic like beer rack behind me promoting Lego, and you got little like stuff from Dan Murphy's around and stuff. So I'm like, wow, okay. So that was my first lesson of being like learning about how it all works. And then from then on, I was like, okay, so make sure in future brand deals not to have anything not so like, not in,
particularly if it's like a kid's product and stuff.
Yeah. And like anything like that could like interfere. So I was doing that, but then I realized it was important to have your clothing, no like Nike, Adidas or whatever you're wearing. It has to be all plain and stuff. Yeah. So I would make sure to make sure everything's all clean and there's nothing like sponsors wise or anything that could be affecting the brand deal. So that was one thing that I learned, and now I'm aware can't even speak right now, aware of. But yeah, so another thing is that you got the do's and don'ts. So obviously you can't swear, and you have to make sure things are happening. But some brands go a little bit over the top and they're like, please say this. Yeah. And this is the thing though, if you make it more of an ad type of video, they usually don't do that
as
great
well.
As well. So that's
consumers know now. Yeah. Like they understand, even probably, you know, the demographic that you're dealing with, I'm sure they can tell the difference between this is something organic versus this is something that's sponsored, and everyone gets that's part of business and life now. But I guess when it's super structured, the creative, you know, it sticks out, right? Because it's not like something that you would normally post.
Exactly. And then you even have people commenting and go, this is an ad, or like, oh, we don't care. We would just want to see something more original. Yeah. So some brands have actually been a bit smarter, and what they've done is said, you know what, you have all the control, like come up with the script yourself, and just try put our brand involved in a most natural way where you can still make your same storylines and stuff, but do it in a way where our brands are also to be shown and to be heard of. So and that's cool. So sometimes I make a storyline.
So you might work the product into this storyline between Kevin and Dolores or something like that, right?
Yeah, exactly. So one of them was maybe a school application to help get better grades or something. And what I did was made a storyline with Lucas and Kevin competing about grades, but Lucas is the one Kevin is the smarter one at the moment, and then Lucas downloads this thing, and then he all of a sudden becomes better, has better grades and stuff. Right. So I did it in a way where it was a storyline. People can be like watching something, and then kids and whoever's watching will just be like, "Oh, what's this? Like, how did Lucas get so smart?" And then that's how it happens. So it's more natural ways and making it more into a storyline that fits my content. It's just it's the best.
So broadly, what's the audience now? I know in the intro I said close to 6 million, but I didn't even think of Snapchat, so it's probably
I reckon it's around just over 6 million. Snapchat, Snapchat, I've grown all the platforms pretty good, but Snapchat's on 300,000 followers, but it is still growing to this day, but not many people know much about Snapchat, but Snapchat.
It's the survivor. It's just always just been there.
Yeah, it's always just been there.
There's been TikTok, there's been now Instagram Reels, etc. But Snapchat's just hung in there.
Yeah, exactly. It was more just for people to use and just for friends and stuff. But they've eventually
with the whole Discover feed.
Discover feed. You got Spotlight, which is their forms of Reels. And they're now trying to compete with all the other social media apps, and what they're doing is they're all paying creators to be like, come, if you post on our stuff, we'll pay you, and then they're and then the other apps are like, we'll pay you more. So it's like
because there's really two sides to this. There's the brand stuff that you're getting directly from brands, and the platforms are obviously monetized as well, right?
Yes.
What's your, for people who maybe don't understand, how do different platforms monetize for their creators?
So I'll start off with YouTube. Usually you've got that, when you watch a video, there's a little advert that you have to wait, and you have to wait 3 seconds. Yeah. So they are placed on my videos, and that's how I get my revenue from YouTube is ad revenue.
Sure.
They pay monthly.
Yeah.
And then on Instagram, it's with Facebook. They've got Meta.
Meta, yeah.
So you don't get paid on Instagram. You get paid on Facebook, but what I do is I upload on Instagram, and it automatically goes onto Facebook, and then they've got ads on there. So that's how you get paid on there. You also can get gifts, like people might send you gifts, but not really as common. Sure. But that's just another thing. TikTok is the only one that don't pay. They pay in
really?
America,
Okay.
and they pay over the world, but they don't pay in Australia.
Right.
So
I could have sworn that they paid. Yeah.
no,
But not in Australia.
they pay if you were doing live streams and people were gifting you, but TikTok themselves don't pay. So so it sucks because that's probably the platform that I have my most following and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've never paid. So I've never earned anything from TikTok.
Yeah.
But the way you make your money on TikTok is brands reaching out to the creators on TikTok to work with you.
Because TikTok's got actually a very good like creator marketplace almost where they'll connect you with creators in whatever niche you're sort of looking for.
Exactly, yeah. So, I think that's how they get paid. But, it's usually just brands working with you on TikTok.
Yeah.
And then, Snapchat is actually the one that pays the most, well, more opportunities-wise.
Yeah.
So you can get paid, if you're a creator, you can get paid doing just stories. You know, Snapchat stories was like 24 hours.
Yeah.
People like, I don't know if you know.
Because that was really Snapchat first, wasn't it?
Yeah,
and then
it was
ended
Snapchat.
up on Instagram.
Yeah, Snapchat had its own stories.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you know this massive American YouTuber, David Dobrik.
Okay.
He was known to make vlogs.
Yeah.
Eventually, he stopped them and just started to do Snapchat stories. And that's because Snapchat was offering David Dobrik an opportunity to just post on stories.
Right,
and
so now everyone has to go there to get
and everyone's now everyone's that was watching his vlogs are on to his Snapchat now. So
there you go.
now what they've done is they're paying creators on stories. They're now from February onwards they're paying Spotlight on Spotlight.
Right, okay.
So that's another revenue stream.
Yeah.
And then there's another thing called Snap Shows.
Yeah.
And that's a thing on the same Discovery page where you might see some like football episodes and stuff.
Yeah.
So I was lucky because they don't do them anymore to get a show.
Yeah.
And what it is just basically a 3-minute episode and you upload them. So what I do is because I've been doing it for 5 years now, I just get a compilation of my video, cut them into 3 minutes and bang, it's an episode. So
nice.
and then that's another revenue stream, and they pay per 1,000 views.
Right.
And they're the ones that actually their dollar per 1,000 views are crazy compared to all those other platforms on YouTube, like YouTube, Facebook, and stuff. So not many people know about Snapchat, but it's
like I said, it's just it just hangs in there. It's just like it's like the cockroach, not in a bad way, it survives everything. Doesn't matter what competitor comes out.
No, exactly.
Yeah, no, fair enough. And so at the moment, how you post every day? So do you like create a bunch of content at once? Do you have like so are you writing concepts, then filming them and editing them? You batch it all, or have you grown to the point now where you got someone doing the edits for you and that sort of thing?
Yeah, so I like having the control with my short form content. So I like
this
being
is
able
organic
to,
content.
Yeah. So I like making the scripts myself and editing it myself because I have a certain way that I like to do.
Yeah.
So anyway, what I do is I'll try to film a few in one day, so then that way I'm not needing to film every single day. And especially there'll be times where like you had Christmas recently, New Year's Eve, so you're going to have a lot of like family gatherings and stuff and you might not even have time to film. So that's why I like to film a few in one day. So then that way I have some in the backups already ready to go if I know I'm going to be away or going to do something. So so I make sure to post once a day, but maybe on one day film 2 videos and then the next day maybe 3 videos. So then that way I've got a little backlog. So then if I want to go away or something, I've got maybe 2 weeks worth of content to be put out still. Yeah. And I can still go on my holiday and relax but just monitor and schedule all my videos.
Yeah. So you use a scheduler because sometimes even with my clients, sometimes I find performance can be very different versus like if I use the scheduler or if I go into the app and post manually.
Yes.
Have you found that?
I have. And I only schedule it for a few apps. I schedule them for YouTube because they work for me, but I don't schedule them for Instagram and
that's
Facebook.
Definitely one that seems to punish you big time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So but what I mean by scheduling is I actually manual schedule. So what I'll do is I'll have them in my drafts ready to post, but have them all like ready, all
with the
captions and stuff.
Yep.
And then what I'll do is I'll have like an alarm at like maybe my posting time's usually like from 6 p.m. onwards. And then...
So on Instagram, it's saved as a draft in the app?
Yes.
And then you just...
And then once it hits the time to post, I'll go on, open the app, go on my drafts, and then, just click post. So that way it's manual because, I've had those problems before. I don't know why, but
I think it's like, if you're in the app and you're using their music and all that sort of stuff, they seem to just reward. It's just about keeping you in the app as much as possible, I guess. And TikTok, similar story?
TikTok is similar,
There's a drafts feature on TikTok.
Yeah, there is a drafts feature on there. So, what I will do, similar to Instagram, I'll make the video, have it all ready, and then when it hits like 6 p.m. or posting time, I'll make sure to upload it on there. So it's just a posting part where I'm on Instagram post, TikTok post, and then Snapchat post, and then I'm like, all right, I'm sweet for YouTube because that's already scheduled.
That's already done.
To go, so.
Yeah. And the creative doesn't change much between the platforms, or they're slightly different?
No. They're all pretty the same, but I've realized they all have their moments. So you'll have a month where TikTok is the one that goes crazy, and then the other ones don't really do as much, and then the next month it might be YouTube. So it's weird how the algorithm works for all the apps. But right now what's working, Snapchat's the one that's doing good. And then I think my TikTok has slowly got back up again.
Sure.
But I think the one that's lacking now, I think, is maybe Instagram now. So
okay.
It
fluctuates a bit.
It all goes different. So,
yeah. And in terms of that workflow, so you shoot and edit on the same day, basically, or you'll bank a lot of shots and then you'll edit them all together later, or?
Yeah, so I like to edit maybe one or two. I don't like to burn myself out and just go, I need to finish them all. So what I'll do is whatever's I'm usually maybe 2 days ahead. So I like to edit so today's Wednesday. So I'll edit today for Friday. So I've already got those 2 videos all ready to go. I will have to just make sure I'm posting at 6 p.m. onwards for today's videos or whatever. I'll make sure to edit them. But if I'm going away, like somewhere I want to go to Queensland or somewhere away, I'll make sure to have all of them all ready to go because sometimes I never know what I'm going to get up to on a holiday and stuff. So I make sure to have them all ready to go. So in that way I don't need to stress and be like, I need to go back to the hotel, get my laptop and get some work done and stuff. So nice.
And like we touched on a little bit with the Smiggle example, but how has life changed in that respect? Like obviously you go out, you get recognised, all that sort of stuff. Well, how has that sort of been?
With the way Smiggles
Well, no, like just in general when you're out and about and you get recognised, like what's that been like?
That? Yeah, well, it doesn't happen as much now, but it happened a lot, especially when COVID, like after COVID and stuff like 2022, 2021 time. Yeah. But it is weird because growing up around this area all my life, going to like shopping centres, the DFO or something like that. I mean, I just see it as like everyday life, But then after when TikTok happened, I was like, I need to make sure I'm not wearing anything like too baggy or anything, just in case someone recognizes me I always have to make sure I'm not behaving how I used to behave as like a teenager and stuff. So it's weird because now going outside, I'm still representing my brand.
Sure.
Because if I do something, if I'm trying to if I muck around or something with my friends and be silly, then if someone that recognizes me, it could be a bad thing and bad reputation. So it's always like I need to make sure I'm always making sure that I'm not doing anything that's like
could be perceived the wrong
way. Yeah, exactly. So I have to make sure that everything's all fine and I'm not doing anything that makes just makes it look a bit that's Lucas. What the hell is he doing? Or something like that. Or what's he wearing? Or so.
And like because how old are you again? You're
24.
24, right? Yeah. So like. Do you go out on the weekends and stuff like that?
Not as much as I used to. I mean, when it all happened, I was 20. So and just out of COVID. So I just wanted to go out and see friends and muck around because I've been at home all the time. So and then sometimes when I'm out maybe drinking or something, then people be like, "You Lucas?" I'm like, "Oh, sober up or something like that." But
I mean, that's just a normal part of being a 24-year-old.
24, right? Exactly. But now I'm 24. I'm more focused on my content, and I'm not really. I don't really do what I do a few years ago, where I'm like wanting to go out. I feel like I've slowly become an introvert. But my going out now is just maybe go see a movie or go to a restaurant with friends and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, cool. And so in terms of the demographics of your audience, have you found that the demographics have sort of aged up with you?
Yeah, it's weird. I don't maybe. I feel like some people that watch me still do watch me till this day, but it's also a lot of people that used to watch me, they don't watch me as much anymore. Only like a certain period of time. So for example, on my TikTok I have 4 million followers, but I don't get 4 million views or millions of views anymore. Like I still get great views, but it's not as much as how it used to be. But I think it's because followers have grown up and have sort of like maybe moving on to a different type of niche that they're into and stuff. But there are always like kids coming up and starting to watch my videos. So and what's cool about that is that I can go back to a video that I made in 2021, 2020 and remake that same video but make it a little bit different than last time and a little bit more better because you got a new phone now and new different types of things, so you can elevate your video from what it was back in 2020. And you'll still have people that are like new to it. They have never seen it before. So it works. So it's
the good thing about kids. There's always new kids.
Yeah, there's always new kids. Exactly. So that's the great thing. Is that
something you think about long term? Like
So
because the thing with social media is it's an amazing following, but how do you capture that audience? Because like TikTok is maybe a good example because there's talk, and I mean, been talk about it for years, but about a potential ban of TikTok, and then like that audience is gone, right? So how do you capture that audience beyond the platforms? Is that something that you think about, or?
So I always had a scare, especially when TikTok, I was hearing rumors TikTok was going to get banned. And at the time, I only had TikTok. I didn't have other social media platforms. So I was freaking out. I'm like, oh, no, here goes I had a fun run, I guess. But it's still here, which is great. But that made me go, okay, I need to now prepare myself in case it happens again. So that's why I explored and went on to other platforms and grown a following on there. So at least if one goes, at least I have other platforms to still do my thing. The only thing is that the filter video that I make is on TikTok. So
you have to film it on there.
So I have to film it on there. So if TikTok does go, it means I'll have to change it up, I guess, because I don't have my filter anymore. So I'll have to make some skits where I now have to make it just my normal self. But as you said, like when you get older and long term, I don't want to make these videos when I'm like 30 or in a few years' time, because I feel like I will slowly get over it in a time. So what I've done is actually prepared what should I do, because obviously what I do makes money and it's made me a full-time job, and how am I gonna continue that when I'm 30? Obviously I can always just repost these videos, but they can only get to a certain point. But what I've now working on is animation. So I'm now looking for animators, and I've already tested it, but we're now making the videos that I make into animation. So then that way I'm out of the picture, but the storyline continues in an animation way where it can still go. I can now move on, do something else while having my brand still live on. So cool. There's been times where I've been making sure long term that it's still going ahead and I'm able to move on, continue, where I'm not burning myself out and why am I stuck doing this for the rest of my life?
And on the brands front, like it seemed like last year in particular, so I'm avid follower now, but you got to do some pretty cool stuff with trips overseas. There's a picture of you on your profile with Tom Cruise and stuff.
There's been a lot of
what's that been like, man? Crazy.
Yeah, that has been crazy. So that's the cool thing about my job is that I get to experience some really cool perks. So Tom Cruise was really cool. So I get invited to a lot of premieres, and there'll be some premieres where the actors fly over to see it and to also meet everyone. So there's been opportunities where I've been on red carpets and right next to me is Tom Cruise. I'm like, oh my God. I'm getting an interaction with him. I've been on Ricky Stenicki, which is a movie with John Cena and Zac Efron. And I got to meet John Cena, which is crazy. I wasn't supposed to because the directors were like, if you were to mingle with any, like Zac Efron, John Cena, you're out. Yeah. But I had a little chance to meet him. So you were
on set?
I was on set. So I was a waiter, and they were on a table. And the cool thing about a waiter was that I got to walk around. I wasn't a person on another table, so I got to move around, pretend to offer drinks. Of course, I'm going to try hover as much as I can around them.
Of course, yeah.
But there was a period where the director said, "Take 10, we're having lunch." Yeah. So we're all the cast that weren't the A-listers, they had their own space. Anyway, I was in the other cast. We're all having pizza around the corner. Anyway, my friend went missing, and I'm like, I don't know where he is. I went out looking for him. I went back to the area where we were shooting. Yeah, and he wasn't there, but John Cena was at that. He wasn't at that exclusive area. John Cena was sitting down in the in the where we were filming,
like the set,
and he's just sitting and he's staring at me now. I'm like, I don't know what to say anymore. So because I grew up watching him as a child, he was my childhood hero. Yeah. So I've just like become a spirit and just like I just went up. I had to go up to him, and then I had a moment with him, and it was really cool being able to speak to someone like him, and it was crazy. I actually teared up, getting emotional, and started crying in front of him. Yeah, and then I'm like, all right, I'm sorry, but if I talk to you, I'm going to be in trouble, so I have to get out of here. So I had that little interaction, but it just made my whole year basically. So that was really cool. And then especially, I wasn't able to have a photo because you weren't allowed to have your phone with you. Yeah. But to have the movie out, and I've got a little like screenshot of me in the same frame as Zac Efron or something, and I don't think it was with John Cena, but Zac Efron at least. Yeah. But it shows that at least I was in the movie, and it's a little thing that I can always show. But Tom Cruise, John Cena, Tyson Fury's another one. Oh, right. I've got it on my phone. I can show you. Yeah. And I can show the camera as well. Yeah. But it's basically he was here in Melbourne promoting some sort of boxing pay-per-view, and I had the opportunity to interview him, but also go a little one-on-one photo with him. This is short. So that was really cool. I've had all these cool opportunities and stuff, and they suddenly still come to me, which is really cool. Recently was the Wicked premiere. So you had Ariana Grande and the Alphaba girl come by. It was really cool with all these like cool opportunities and stuff. So
awesome. Have you had a lot of brand deals that are like sent you overseas or anything like that?
Yeah, so Spain was a really cool one. So what happened was Virgin Voyages, it was a new cruise line. It's only been around for a few years. And I said to my manager, over time I got a manager. That's another thing. Yeah. But I said to him, hey, there's this new cruise line, and me and my family, we love going on cruises. Yeah. Do you reckon it's a chance we can try reach out? Yeah. So we did. And we were just like, hope for the best. Anyway, a day later, we got an email back, and they said, oh, yeah, we'll love to have you and your family come by and promote all our what we have on board. Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. So we had to do the flights ourselves, but we had the opportunity to go on a 10-day cruise around Europe and stuff, all paid for. Yeah. And it wasn't just the four-wall rooms, it was the balcony rooms, and we had perks with it, went to the VIP areas and free drinks and stuff. Yeah. It was awesome. And I remember me and my mum, dad, and my brother, were loving it, and it was just cool seeing their faces have fun. I'm like, wow, it just all started from me making a Marco Polo video.
Yeah.
So now I've got my family on a cruise and stuff. So
it must be good to be able to give those experiences to your family
exactly.
as well, you know?
Especially movies like that. They love movies, so there'll be some times where I get invited, but I can't attend. But what's awesome is that I can say to my family, hey, I've got premieres and surprise them. I've got premieres to this movie that you want to see. And they're like, oh, no way. So it's cool going with them. They all get dressed up, get their media wall photos and stuff. So it's really cool. And being like, wow, like if it just happened on social media, now I'm having all these experiences, not only for myself, for my family as well. So
you
really
obviously didn't set out for this to happen.
No.
But, you know, what... If there were people out there looking to achieve something like what you've been able to achieve, again, I know a lot of it was organic, but what sort of tips would you give to people to start on that journey?
Definitely the number one thing is consistency, and posting every single day. Another thing is that when you're starting out, it's important to put as much content as you can, Sometimes not one is just not good enough. Maybe posting 2 a day is better, because when you think about it, just say you've got the app and then you've got 2 creators that want to get grow. One of them's only posting 1 video, and then 2 weeks later maybe another one, and then maybe another, and then a week later another one. Or you got the one that's posting 2 days, and then the next day 2 days, and the next day 2 days. The app is going to realize that this creator is is offering a lot more for their app and producing more more videos for people to consume.
Yeah.
And they're going to push out this creator instead of the other, and reward them instead of the other one. So it's important to be in the app's face and be like, hey, I'm posting for you, because eventually they're going to see you and they're going, okay, this one's an upcoming one. Yeah. So because I was posting every single day, I think that's why I got the reward, and it worked, because obviously, like, it depends also what you post and stuff.
Yeah, obviously people sharing it as well helps.
Yeah, exactly.
As well.
So, but because it was so niche, it worked. So yeah, definitely post and put yourself out there as much, and make sure your first 3 seconds is important, because people have got very short attention spans these days. So as soon as it's not interesting them in 1 second, it's next video.
What about your covers? Do you do like custom covers? Is it just a frame? Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Like, is it just a frame from the video, or is it another piece that like almost its own asset?
Yeah, usually it's just the frame from the video. So sometimes it will just be a massive face expression they'll do. It'll be like a big a big mouth open face, and I'll usually be like that, and then I'll have like a whatever the video is about. I'll have like a little text on it. Yeah. So people can be like, oh, what's this one about and stuff. On my Snapchat shows, I do have a thumbnail where I make it like sort of like how Mr. Beast makes it.
Sure.
So
yeah,
it is important as well to have like a hook, not only for the first 3 seconds, but also the cover, so people are going to click. So.
That's right. Yeah. And what about when you're analysing, say you're looking at the last week of content or last month of content, what sort of things are you looking at to determine this worked, this has potential, maybe I tweak this? Because you've got such a big library of content now. I guess you've sort of understanding what works better than not, than doesn't, right?
No, for sure. Definitely the videos that I make about a sibling fights and stuff, they usually do really well. So what I'll do is I'll usually go on my analytics and see what's the most popular, what's the most trending, and it's usually, for me, that's working at the moment, is Lucas and his sibling. So what I'll do is I'll make a lot of videos that are both you and your sibling, things that would happen as a childhood with your sibling. You'll be having fights over food, over whatever it is, trying to get the front seat of the car. So there's always these new different things. But also ChatGPT is a new thing that's happened recently. That's a good thing to have now, because what I can do now is I can, instead of trying to burn myself out thinking about ideas, I sometimes ask the AI to help me come up with a script and stuff, and they can provide me something. Sometimes I might not like it, but sometimes I'll be like, oh, that's a good one.
It's just a good brainstorming, like ideation type part.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So
even if only 20% is good. You know, it's 20% that you didn't have before. So,
exactly. So
no, definitely worth looking at those tools. All right, cool.
Sure.
So normally to wrap up the episodes, what we do is we sort of pick out some of your Moonee Valley favourites, right?
Okay.
So
all right.
we've spoken a lot about your connection to the area. So what's your favourite restaurant in the area?
My favourite restaurant? There's a lot of good ones. My favourite will probably be it's new. It's Three Salamis. It's a lunch place on Napier Street. Yeah, that's really cool.
That's grouse, yeah.
Another one that's just opened is next door to it. It's called Les Smash Burgers.
Okay.
So that's owned, I think it's owned both with Three Salamis. But that's good. A lot on Napier Street. I'm always around Napier Street. So you got Two Fat Greeks.
Yeah.
That's a really good one.
I think that's part of the same group as well.
Oh, yeah. I think so. Yeah, they're all around the same group. And there's Damazi's as well.
Damazi's good.
Yeah,
good shout.
There's a lot of really good ones.
Yeah, we're pretty sport here.
Yeah, I love it.
You a big coffee drinker?
I've actually have now been. My girlfriend actually introduced to me a year ago. So I actually started having coffee recently, and now I'm having it quite often. Yeah,
have you found a favourite coffee spot in the Moonee Valley?
Ooh, a coffee spot? I don't know. I usually go around. I don't really have one. Maybe Revitalize Cafe, which is on Napier as well.
Yeah.
But on the other side.
Yes.
I had a mate that worked there, so I would always go up and not only have my coffee, but also see him when he works, and he'll come up to me a little bit. So it'll be really cool. So Revitalize Cafe probably with the coffee. But,
Favorite local hangout?
Local hangout? Oh, there's a lot of good ones. I'm going to have to say Woodlands Park, just to having the stroll around and going up to 7-Eleven, especially these days, summer days, going to 7-Eleven, get a Slurpee, and then just walking around and just seeing all the nice nature. You got ducks going around. And, kids playing on the playground. But, it's just really cool to just sit down and
There's a lot of work's gone into that park too.
So much. Compared to when I was growing up there, all you had was maybe a rock wall climbing thing. But now that's gone because obviously it's probably a little bit dangerous to have.
They've got the full playground now.
Yeah, you got a full playground. Not only that, you got a gym workout like free weights and stuff. So there's a lot of really cool things around there. So and also the events they put out. They had the Rogue Traders, which is
Lincoln Park,
Lincoln Park. I was there, and I was like, oh my god, I love these guys.
Yeah.
So it's really cool how they make all these events happen, especially in our community. It's like, wow, I've got this band is performing right next to my schools. It's just really cool. And the great thing about it is that you link up with and see old faces that you used to see when you have all these other events from school and stuff. So it's really cool.
All right, and it's not necessarily a local question, but is there a collaboration you'd love to do, or someone you'd love to work with, maybe another creator, or?
Well, I'm probably going to go a bit more crazy, but Mr. Beast would be awesome. Yeah. He makes some awesome content, and doing something with him would just be a dream come true, honestly. Yeah. So definitely Mr. Beast. And also I'm loving WWE, so John Cena as well. Yeah. Reunite with him. Yeah. Maybe a football player. I grew up loving Messi, Ronaldo, so obviously Ronaldo's on YouTube now.
Yeah,
so
he did a big thing with Mr. Beast.
Yeah, Mr. Beast, there you go. Yeah. So obviously who knows what he's going to get up to in the next 10 years, but if he's onto social media now, you never know, that would be really cool. So having an opportunity to do something with them would just be on top of the world. So
have you done much in the sports space, or given you had a big soccer background?
I did some stuff. I did recently was David Beckham, the new fragrance. So what they did was they hired out a Melbourne Victory box. Yeah. And we got to watch a game, which was really cool. Yeah. Essendon, I was actually doing some stuff at Windy Hill, actually. Okay. So
you're a Bombers fan, aren't you?
I am a Bombers fan. Yeah. So obviously we haven't had the best success since I was born.
But you did something at the AFLW.
Is that right? AFLW. Yeah. So I got to interview the women players and also the fans that are around Windy Hill, which was awesome. So showing the community how great it is, especially at Windy Hill when the women's play and the VFL team play. It's just really cool to have local football, but also in the highest level around our community as well. So yeah, it's really cool. I hear that they're growing it, I think.
Yeah, they're trying to redevelop it a little bit and get some more, more AFLW there, and I think the VFL team there and stuff a bit more. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, no, it should be good. Great for Essendon nuffies like yourself. So
who do you support?
Mate, I've never really been big on the footy. My dad's massive Collingwood, so by association, I'm Collingwood. But you know me, man, I've always been big soccer, football guy. So that's always been my jam.
That's it. Yeah, it's definitely the 2 a.m. wake ups or something. Watching Premier League and A League. Yeah, that's right. Great.
Well, obviously this might be watched by a bit of an older demographic than what you're used to, but give a shout out to your socials. Where can people find you?
Sure. So it's just my full name. It's Lucas Ivkovic. Sorry about the surname, Croatian surname. It's probably hard to spell, but it's Lucas Ivkovic. So all together, and you'll see me on any social media platform, Instagram, Facebook. So yeah,
perfect. All right, well, that wraps up another episode of the Moonee Valley Voices. Thank you very much to Lucas for coming in this week. If you're a local and you're doing great things, maybe you're at a local sports club, maybe you're raising money for a great initiative, I'd love to hear from you. You can get in touch with me, Matt@contenthype.com.au. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you again next week.